And welcome to a special edition of Unified Soccer on HCTV. As you guys recently saw, it was senior night for all the seniors here for both North Hunterdon and Hunterdon Central, respectively. I'm Ryan McKeown, your host, and I'm with Zach, one of Hunterdon Central's, and I think the biggest Hunterdon Central super fan, who has been to about 1,200 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride, and it's been it's been a quite an honor to still come back and give that support. Well deserved, especially all the players trying out ahead of time, and they make it to the team. They deserve some love, and that's my philosophy towards everything. You know, Respect and love is a great thing. So.
Absolutely. So it's a very special night, as we know, it's senior night, and it's definitely gonna be bittersweet as it's their last game of the season, if I'm not mistaken, Zach.
Yeah, and if I'm also not mistaken, I don't think Unified has ever done a state playoff game before, ever.
They haven't, for soccer at least. They've done it for basketball, and our school has won the state championship in Unified for basketball last season. So that's something to be proud about. And a lot of these athletes do continue on to play basketball in the winter, which is something very exciting to see. I don't know if we broadcast Unified basketball games, but if we do, keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, I definitely will. Even try to help out at times if well needed.
Mhm.
I know that with this soccer game, it's going to be a fun one. I have a lot of friends on both sides, so this should be a good match. And I also think that yes, there's going to be a little bit of competitiveness,
Mhm.
but I think there's going to be a lot of respect both from both sides. I don't think there's going to be any anger or anything hostile. It's going to be a good game, and both teams are going to have that respect.
Absolutely. The Unified players have a more of like, I don't know how to describe it, more of like a kindness between each other when they do play compared to our varsity players. They're usually more animosities on the field, but then off the field they're just cool. But like here, I think it's just more chill and relaxed, which is something pretty cool. But yeah, especially exciting. I know the North team pretty well. I used to go to North Hunterdon. Fun fact of the day. I do know Keith. Keith is probably like one of the major icons in recent North time, like Dave the Rave and many other people. So that's just some fun facts that I have about my time being a student at North. Everybody would ask to be taking a picture with Keith because Keith is probably like, I would say Keith is similar to you in a sense at North Hunterdon, like being well, be a super fan.
Yeah, I would say that he definitely Keith definitely has a lot of pictures. I wouldn't say close to my number, but definitely he definitely is a picture guy for sure. He is in a sense like me. Um, and the clock is running, and we are underway. And so Jamie has the ball at the moment for North, and then near the 40, 1-9 on Central with the kick, and it goes out of bounds.
Number 19 is Samik Bankala for Hunter and Central. It's definitely a good start of the game for, I think, North, as they got two more on their offensive zone. So we're going to see what Jamie does with the ball. She passes it in to her teammate, I think Elsa Boyer.
One of my good friends. We do track together for Special Olympics. North hosts our practices every year. So, as a matter of fact, that will be happening in the spring. So I'll be seeing her in the spring.
That's exciting. What's Special Olympics like?
It's what it's again going back to using the word honor. It's just it's a Special Olympics is out in the community. It's a really great thing, and it's an honor to be a part of that. And I'm going into my 20th year of doing it. So in the spring, so I'm really excited for that.
Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations on 20 years. That's two decades of Special Olympics. So I'm really proud of you and continue doing your amazing things there. Hunterdon Central got a bit of a sigh of relief as the ball went out of bounds. And Ryan Church has a goal kick. Number 14 for the Central Red Devils is Maxi Joby, who is one of, I think, a helper for the Hunterdon Central squad. And number 20, that is Jeremiah Markowitz, has the ball. He just made a move against Jamie Sullivan. But the ball does go out of bounds. And I believe North or Central will throw it in depending on the situation. Looks like Jamie Sullivan will throw the ball in for the North Hunterdon Lions. Elsa Boyer passes it up the field, tries to get it to her man, and she does. That I believe that is Nelson has the ball. He is number 10. Actually, I don't know if that's Nelson. That is Nelson. I was right. Maxi Joby has the ball. One of our seniors on our squad, honored tonight. Max kicks it up the field. Julia receives that pass, tries to find a man to pass to. She's just holding the ball, waiting for a pass to work. But that pass got intercepted by Nelson, but Jeremiah gets on it. But a good stop by the North Hunterdon goalie. That is Andrew Haney. Andrew does a goal kick, and Maxi Joby is on it for the Red Devils. Joby passes it to, I believe, Markowitz, but that pass got intercepted by Nelson. Ijobi makes a move and gets the ball into no man's possession, but Jamie Sullivan gets on it. Number 4 for the Lions has possession. That is Zach Barara. So, Zach, how do you feel so far about the current gameplay as 4 minutes on the clock has elapsed?
Well, I feel like everybody's getting a feel for the ball right now. That's kind of the scenario at this point. You still have 0-0 at the moment with 16 minutes roughly, so I think that because I was looking at the scoreboard, I think it's going to go 0-0 to like probably the 12-minute mark, and then I think things are going to pick up.
Yeah, and the ball does go out of bounds, I believe, off of Maxi Joby, and North Hunterdon gets to kick it in, but Nelson just kicks it way far and wide out of bounds. And Ryan Church is going to have to make a run for it and get the ball back on the playing field. So it's going to be a little bit of a breath of fresh air for the players just to get themselves refocused and recentered into their play. So, how has Hunterdon Central impacted you as was a student, as an alum, and as a fan as a whole?
I think let's start with student first. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's an easy one for me. I think they. Okay, I'm going to rephrase this. To apply to all of them all at once, I think it just, or at least the 2 out of the 3. Mm-hmm. I'll get to the alumni part in a minute. Those 2, I mean, everybody goes through their 4 years, right? And everybody goes, freshman to senior at some point in their lifetime here at Central. And I was never good with the classes, but I thought I would do something that was up my wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. And ball out of bounds. And that's sports, obviously. Now, as far as being an alumni, now that's a whole different story. And that I would say, being an alumni after going through, the amount of years I spent here as a student, all of it out of bounds again.
Great attempt by number 8. Sorry for interjecting. Great attempt by Doc Saxena. Go, continue.
I think all of it just like if it was impacted in a way to me, it would be a good way, honestly, because it's just, you know, I like doing this, and it's not an issue for me. You know,
Hmm.
I spend my time doing this. I consider this as a hobby, a living. You know, this is what I do, majority of the time.
Well, I love hearing your story, how Hunterdon Central has impacted you. It's such an amazing thing, and one school can impact one very well, and something important. School can change people forever. And Max and Nelson have been a bit of a duel for the ball. Max passes up to fellow teammate Julia. Number 17 for the Hunterdon Central Red Devil, that is Mel Kumar, another senior, having some playing time right now. And Doc Saxena tries to make a move, but the shot goes wide. North Hunterdon's going to get the ball back in the bounds. So, what is probably your favorite? I know you love all sports, but everyone does have a favorite. What's your favorite sport to watch or follow for the Hunterdon Central Red Devils?
I would say that applying to having one favorite sport, I don't. I make it a habit to watch the sports, to support them,
Mm-hmm.
and to not use favoritism in any way, shape, or form
Mm-hmm.
towards any of the teams on any of the high school campuses, including my own that I used to go to. So,
Yeah, but I know some people have favorite sports to watch, and that was a good shot by Hunterdon Central. Actually, it trickled through. Ryan Haney could not hold the ball, and I think either Doc Saxena or Mel Kumar got the double tap and got in the behind the net past Haney. Hunterdon Central is up a goal. Either Kumar or either Kumar or Saxena. So Hunterdon Central is up a goal on North Hunterdon, which is really exciting to see. And unrelated to
And that's
what,
a Hunterdon Central goal.
unrelated to
Red Devils
soccer,
take a 1-0 lead.
but have you heard of the World Series? Have you heard of the Zach? Have you heard about the World Series win by the Dodgers?
I'm not happy with that. So, I'm not going to have any comments towards that game.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about it either as a Padres fan. I would rather have the Yankees win over the Dodgers, who eliminated us in the NLDS. So that is just my personal take. So I'm not super happy about it either. But unrelated, but are you a hockey fan perchance?
I trick-or-treated so I was a senior in high school.
What was that? Were you asking me something? I'm sorry. I
No,
wasn't.
no worries. Are you a hockey fan perchance? And how do you feel about your team so far this season?
So, I'm a Huntington Central hockey fan, but I most certainly do not watch NHL.
You don't watch the NHL, huh?
I don't. Um, just I don't. You know, the games are too long. You know, I'm not going to sit there for 20 minutes and watch a hockey game. It's not going to happen.
One period of hockey is 20 minutes, but the entire game is 60.
Exactly, and that's why.
I personally love it. I think it's an exhilarating sport. I am a Winnipeg Jets fan. We had a pretty hot start, but we lost to Toronto. Toronto made me mad. Just going to say that.
Well, Toronto could be that difficulty for everybody.
Yeah, but Toronto's been having a pretty up and down season so far, but we won against Detroit, and that's all I'm happy, 6-2. But we are gonna have a goal kick from North Hunterdon. I think it's from their senior. I can't really. It's either who is it? Goal 16, which is Bettina Maniseri Castro. She was honored at senior night, and Hunterdon Central does have the ball. Number 23 being William Sanchez. William Sanchez is going to drive it up the field. Passes it back to his teammate. Julie has the ball. Cross seam pass to number 15. I think that is Nate Bess. Number 14 on the team is Max Ejobi. He has the ball. And a goal by Hunterdon Central. Did you see who scored that? 15 scored the goal, and that is Nate Bess for the Hunterdon Central Red Devils, giving them a 2-0 lead.
And that's another goal for the Red Devils. The Red Devils take the 2-0 lead. 7:55 left, first half.
Hunterdon Central currently still has their clean sheet, and the word I'm going to be using carefully is currently. I do not want to be an announcer's curse, because that can always happen to the best of us, but North Hunterdon is on the ball. But a good block by Sanchez. And Bess heads up the field, but that shot does go wide. Really good opportunity by the Hunterdon Central Red Devils, capitalizing on the momentum. Mr. Spencer, you forgot to put the second goal on the board. So how do you feel so far about Hunterdon Central's offensive chances? How do you feel about them as a team so far in the first half?
Well, it's tough having friends on both sides, and you're happy for one team, like per instance, because Central's winning, and that is my school. However, it makes me a little unsettled because my friends on North haven't scored yet, and I'm hoping that this will be a close game and not exactly a blowout. Because the last time I was at a unified soccer game and it was at North, it was an absolute blowout.
And another goal by Nate Bess, giving Hunterdon Central the 3-0 lead on the North Hunterdon Lions.
Nate
Bess.
Nate Bess on the goal for the Red Devils.
So, as you were saying, yeah, it's definitely difficult having friends on both sides, especially on a team like Unified. It's definitely difficult to have friends on both sides. It's painstakingly heartbreaking, but North Hunterdon is currently down 3-0 against Hunterdon Central, and Hunterdon Central is going to have an offensive drive. Number 10 for Hunterdon Central passes it to Bess. Bess tries to get it through the wickets, but it just couldn't work as number 18 for North Hunterdon blocked his shot, and that was Dom. Dom blocked his shot. Really good shot blocking opportunity by North Hunterdon. Couple of new faces on the field. I think that's Derek White on the field. Apparently the score got off the board. Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, that is Derek White. And that is number 16. Yes, Derek is on the field. And number 7 clocked in for the Red Devils, which is Marvin Zapata. Derek has the ball. Derek is a prominent goal scorer. Am I right, Zach?
He is, and so is Nate. They are both very good on the goal scoring, and they score a lot of goals.
Absolutely. They're definitely key weapons. It's going to be sad to see them go when it's their senior year. And North got a good block on Hunterdon Central's chance. Currently, Central leads 3-0. And Marvin Zapata passes it back. The pass meant for number 18, Daniel Zabawa, just goes a little too wide, but Julia Duggan corrals it for the Hunterdon Central Red Devils, so that's something good we love to see. Good opportunity, but just goes a little wide and out. So, I've been seeing a lot of good offensive finishes by Central. What do you think Central has to do to stay consistent throughout the game and keep a good winning streak going on?
Well, I think in this case, 4 minutes left of this half, they need to have tight defense. And coming from a guy who actually did play soccer for a year in Special Olympics, I would say tighten defense. And most of all, just don't let the other team get the ball. Because once the other team once the other team has the ball, it's sometimes hard to get back. So, but I guess in this case right now at the moment we are fine, and that's great. And we do have a 3-0 lead.
Mm-hmm.
With 3:14 left to go.
In the first half.
That's right, first half.
Yeah, so it's definitely good to have a 3-0 lead, but a lead can be blown, so you have to be careful. You can't be complacent if you're Hunterdon Central. And I genuinely fell in love with the sport of unified soccer and just soccer in general. As much as I do love field hockey, sideline reporting for football, I generally found some sanctuary in unified soccer.
Yeah, unified soccer's been fun for me.
Mhm.
I don't play, but I like watching.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's really good to know the players. It's really good to know the parents. It's really good to know the players' siblings and stuff like that. And because I have that kind of relation with all the teams like that, it makes my life a lot easier, knowing who's playing, who's cheering, that kind of thing, when it comes to sports. So it does make my life a lot easier. I will say that we do have some players that will be transitioning to basketball in the winter. We do have one player that is going to be transitioning to softball in the spring for the Hunterdon Central varsity softball team. So I will say that I'm gonna have to hold off on what I was
Marvin
gonna say.
Zepeda scored for the Hunterdon Central Red Devils, giving them a 4-0 lead with 1 minute and 30 remaining in the half.
I think they let that kid score. The one in the hat on the left.
18. That will be Daniel Zabawa. I stand correctly, and it was Daniel Zabawa who got the goal in for Hunterdon Central. And as you were saying about the special connections with the team and stuff.
Yes. So knowing everybody who plays and the parents and and their siblings and stuff like that, everybody, in those kind of ways is actually really cool because I think I could just be a normal fan and decide not to meet anybody, and I could just show up, watch a game, and leave. But there's something different that everybody notices about me is that I do take the time to introduce myself, especially at these games, and it's just enjoyable to watch all these games.
Absolutely. And now there's 17 seconds waning in the half. Hunterdon Central has a 4-0 lead against the North Hunterdon Lions. And Marvin Zepeda passed to Julia Duggan. Duggan's going to wait for a player to pass to. She gives it to Zabawa. Zabawa turns it over to the Lions with less than a second remaining. The North Hunterdon Lions go down 4-0 in the half, and Hunterdon Central leads 4-0 in the half. And we'll see you guys after some halftime break. So we are back for some second half action for this unified soccer game. If you just tuned in recently, Hunterdon Central is leading 4-0 against the North Hunterdon Lions. So Zach, what do you hope to see out of this second half for the Red Devils?
I think what needs to happen is they just need to they don't need to stop. We need our offense to continue to score, and we need our offense to continue to do good on defense when it transitions into the defense. Now, I know North started out with the ball to start the game, which means I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Hunterdon Central gets to start with the ball for the second half.
Yeah, I think you're correct about that. So we definitely don't want to get too complacent. Anyone can blow a lead. I mean, I'm sorry to bring up the Yankees in this, but the Yankees blew a 5-0 lead in the World Series after making error after error. So anyone could blow a lead, even the professionals. So
I will say, somehow we had this conversation during halftime, but knowing me being a Yankees fan, that's not a pleasant conversation to have. But anyhow, dropping that and getting back to Huntington Central Soccer, because that's the game that's
yeah,
important here. And we will have the rest of this broadcast here in the second half. And we are underway.
we are still having our goaltender from the first half, and Ryan Church. And Ryan Church with a good stop of making Jamie Sullivan second guess herself with that kick. Great job, but there was also a great offensive drive by number 6, Maria Clara Sousa. So Ryan Church is gonna throw the ball in. So
If North,
yeah, continue.
if they get a goal this half,
Mhm.
the one person I would like to see score is either Jamie.
Mhm.
There's 3 people: Jamie, Elsa, or Keith. Now, on the other hand, for Central, if they're going to continue to score here in this second half, I would like to see Nate, Derek, Julia, or small player on the field right there. What's their number?
Over there,
The one that with the Red Sox.
the Red Sox. That is number 3. Let me get you that for a second. Aya Botero.
Yeah, so one of those for Central. But yeah,
Aya is currently heading up the field. She's doing a great job getting herself out there. Julia is being a great support for her. But North just gets themselves back on possession. Ryan Church is contesting. And that shot goes wide. So,
and look at that hustle to get to the ball to get it back on the field of play. We love to see that, especially because, with disabilities, we don't know how fast some of these players are, but that is absolutely fantastic and great hustle to bring the ball back into play as a goalie. This isn't varsity soccer.
mm-hmm.
For those who are trying to figure out at this point, second half, what kind of soccer this is. This is not varsity girls or boys soccer, which I should say. We'll be playing West Windsor next week. Girls will be playing on Monday against West Windsor in the first round, and then the first round for the boys is on Tuesday. I guess West Windsor. Yes, I know this because I checked.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a great job by Jesse Spencer because he's been really keeping up with our stuff here on the athletic department. So he's been doing a fantastic job since he's arrived, and just enjoy to see that. It's just great to have somebody who's up to date all the time.
Absolutely. And for those who are wondering which West Windsor Plainsboro, as there's a north and south, the girls are playing the south. I will be on that broadcast that game, so you'll catch me there with Grace. She's amazing. Love her. And then for the boys are playing north. And Jamie Sullivan gets North Hunterdon on the board, breaking the clean sheet for Ryan Church. But as I was saying earlier, the boys are going to be playing against West Windsor Plainsboro North, and that will be commentated by Brad and Div. Subject to change, though. We don't know their availability, but those are some things you should be excited for next week. Hunterdon Central playoff soccer at Stewart Field, so make sure you're there supporting our girls and our boys as they make a run to the state final.
Now, unless something changed also, November 5th, which is a Tuesday, supposedly our girls varsity volleyball team supposedly is supposed to be having their first round on Tuesday, unless something changed.
Yeah, that's also exciting to see our 3 teams at Hunter and Central are being successful in getting themselves far in the playoffs. So super exciting to see that.
They get a bye, so they'll play on the 7th. And they're the number
Jamie Sullivan's shot goes wide, and Ryan Church tries to contest it, but he decides to retreat back in the goal. Ryan Church with a good kick to get the ball out of harm's way, and North Hunterdon has been having a good momentum shift right now as they got themselves a goal on the board, and they are basically being suffocating in Hunterdon Central zone.
So I have some new information.
Mm-hmm.
Hunterdon Central girls varsity volleyball will not be playing on Tuesday because they have a bye.
Yeah, that's
which is very good news because that means they are the number 1 seed, and that means that they will go straight to the quarterfinal. In hopes that that also could be good news that we will not have to play the tough team of Old Bridge, which they did last year on the road and lost. So maybe that will be in hopes that things will be a little easier in states this year for Hunterdon Central girls volleyball.
Yeah, absolutely. We lost to Old Bridge last year. It was a very tough loss. A lot of these girls are playing with each other again. They're seniors. A lot of them have played in the middle school levels, and now they're playing together on the high school level. So it's a good last hurrah for them if they win states, of course. We don't know what's going to happen. Volleyball is a very unpredictable sport, but typically the higher seed typically does win in volleyball from what I've known so far. But we have a lot of games on the docket upcoming, so it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and actually, I'll be real with you, Mariah.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure what my announcing schedule is going to be like with state games. You know, I have to be honest with you. Usually my state schedule, I'm not broadcasting any games during states because games are very important to me, and very important for me to be there to support down there.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I will have that conversation to see like if like I have to check on some things before I could say I will be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, to broadcast again, but state games kind of change the landscape of where I'll be usually. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to make a shout out that our girls team went undefeated in the Skyland Delaware division, and they are 21-5 in the season. So way to go, ladies. And we hope to see you guys succeed in the playoffs. North Hunterdon throws the ball in from number 6, and we have Hunterdon Central's on the ball, but loses possession. Good regain of the possession by Saxena. Saxena is going to try and get it, but North Hunterdon did a great block on defense, intercepting that lane. And Hunterdon Central is on the ball. That is number 11. Gets it by Doc Saxena, but Max Ijobi gets back on the ball, but kicks it out of bounds. So North Hunterdon has been rewarded with possession. So, what do you hope from Hunterdon Central in this game, and also what are you most excited about for playoffs, like as a whole?
I think that the rest of this game with the 11 minutes left looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We can't jinx anything, but looks pretty good though.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as playoffs, we mentioned some of the other teams that are playing in the playoffs in their first rounds. We did mention that the girls varsity volleyball team does have a bye and will be playing on November 7th. So it will be a Thursday game, not a Tuesday game. And then our... great stop there.
That was a good opportunity by Doc Saxena to give us a 4-goal lead. But it was a great stop from goaltender of North Hunterdon. Unsure who is tending the goal for the Lions, but it was a really good opportunity by Central, changing the momentum in their favor. Number 18 for North Hunterdon was the goalie for that period, and that is Dom. Just Dom. And And Maxi Joby will throw the ball into the play for Hunter Central. But yes, it's exciting to see our girls volleyball team have a bye. Both boys and girls soccer do have to play in the first round as they're not the top team playing in the tournament, but that's okay. I mean, our boys soccer team went, I think, 14-2 this year, only losing to Pingree and Monroe Township.
Yeah, Monroe game. Yeah, that one
Was a heartbreaker.
It was a heartbreaker, and they should have won. But sometimes we get these heartbreakers. What I was gonna say though, is I did forget to mention, but I'm gonna mention it now. Hunterdon Central football is tomorrow on the road, first round, and it will be a 6 o'clock game kickoff, and that goes wide. And it will be over at Washington Township. I heard this dramatic, number for hours on the road by bus is absolutely insane. I'm not even going to say the number because it's so insane. Somebody told me it was. You know what? Fudge it. I'm going to say it. Somebody told me it was a 2-hour ride by bus.
It's in Gloucester. It's in Gloucester. It's in Gloucester Township in South Jersey, so I'm not surprised it's going to be a 2-hour drive. They're going to be playing in Sewell. Fun fact, former professional NHLer and current KHL player Tony D'Angelo hails from there, which is a fun fact. So, and Washington Township, Hunter Central's going to be playing the Washington Township Minutemen, and it's exciting, but it's definitely going to be a tough matchup. It's a state matchup, and Washington Township is 7-2 in the season, so Hunter Central should be careful and weary as they go into this game.
Yeah, and Huntington Central for football, we started out, with a 4. Well, we started out 4-2, and that's pretty good considering the fact of what a couple seasons ago was like. But then all of a sudden we started. All of a sudden we just were losing the handle.
Yeah.
They lost to Hillsborough. Funny enough, supposedly because I was at the game, so there is no supposedly.
Yeah.
They coach for Hillsborough. The flag came out on the field, and he got ejected. In that game, right at the beginning of the game, it was Central started with an onside kick. They collected the ball 10 yards up the field from the 40 to the 50, and then all of a sudden the Hillsborough coach decides, oh, let me make a fool out of myself. He goes on the field and gets ejected.
Yeah, but that was a crazy story, Zach. And Hunter Central does have the ball. Julia tries to get it to Aya Botero. And good help back up from William Sanchez. Good help from number 10 for Hunter Central, and that is Andy Santander. Santander had a good opportunity, but kicks it wide from the goal line. And currently there's 6 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in the half. Hunter Central does lead 4-1 against North Hunterdon. And for those who are just tuning in, I introduced Zach, but I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Ryan McKeown for those who've recently tuned into the second half. But Andy Santander is on the ball. And good defense from North, intercepting lanes. And North is going to try and keep it in. That is number 15 for the Lions, and that is Joe Hubert. And a good drive by North Hunterdon by Nelson. But Nelson is down, but he gets up. But it was just wide. And Hunter Central's players are going to run after the ball as the time wanes in the second half. So, it's a very beautiful day on Halloween, so it's definitely going to be a little treat, a little soccer treat before trick-or-treating. It's definitely a record high for Halloween. It's not usually this warm. Isn't it, Zach?
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, I would say that 80 degrees is the unusual.
Andy,
Uh,
yeah, continue.
yeah, uh, the one thing I will say is, so we have Huntington Essentials up 4-1, and I will say that
Hmm.
we do have a really good game so far
Hmm.
on both sides. Everybody's putting in a good effort, and just hoping that that happens in the state games too. But I mean, and overall for the rest of the season for every team that we have on our campus. But I will say that unified soccer has been a favorite of mine ever since it started. I think I've seen some really good games, so I'm just I'm always happy to now that Mr. Johnson allows me to broadcast. I'm always now I'll be willing to pitch in. You know,
Hmm.
it's no, I enjoy doing it. Honestly, I was glad when he gave me my first opportunity last year, and I still remember this year is just as much as like it was last year, except it's not last year, it's this year. So,
Hmm. Absolutely. And we're happy to have you on. You're definitely a beacon of light here at Central, as I've said consistently on the streams. So we're definitely happy to have you as a super fan, also as a guest broadcaster. You've definitely provided a lot of good insight on this team that not many people are able to give insight on. So that's something that we're lucky and honored and blessed to have here at Hunter Central. I literally just said three synonyms, so that was a little redundant of me, but that's okay. Maybe it was a rhetorical choice, I don't know, but yeah, we're lucky to have you here.
hey, anybody can some say some things on air by accident. I mean, it happens. I mean, where we're not, we're former high school student and a Huntington Central student, and on the other hand, even professionals in announcing, they make mistakes all the time. So I don't think it's so much a big deal. We keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you, Binal had a really good opportunity to get the ball in, but it just went wide. We had really good finishes in the first half. North Hunterdon gets himself on the board, but our finishing has just been a little iffy so far in the second half. We just need to find a way to connect and bolster our lead. I know a 4-1 lead is pretty good, but things could be better. But they've all been doing really impeccable jobs. These players, non-special needs, special needs kids on this roster, have done really well on this team this season. The collaboration each team has with each other is impeccable, and I love that for Unified. And we are currently leading 4-1. That was a pretty scary, dangerous situation. It almost went to the wickets of Ryan Church, but it went out of bounds. So that's something good we like to see.
So in terms of this game,
Mhm.
um, regulations and rules, um, not exactly too sure if overtime happens or not, but not that we're gonna need it today.
Mhm.
But I will say that I've seen a lot of overtime games and some very good ones, but I don't think we're gonna need it today because obviously right now with 50 seconds to go, and that clock is gonna keep on running, and I have to say I don't think they do any timeouts in Unified, but there has been no timeouts at all whatsoever. This game has been a running clock all game long.
Yeah, it's been a running clock all game long, as you said. There's only 28 seconds remaining in the half. Keefe is going to have the ball for the Lions. There's not really much time. He's been given a corner, but the ball just hits the side of the net, and it just goes out of harm's way, I think, with the help of Max Ajobi. And 5 seconds are remaining in the game, and it looks like Hunterdon Central sealed the deal against North Hunterdon. 4-1 is your final score, and if I'm not mistaken, they go undefeated in Unified.
Yeah, they haven't lost any games this year. Wow, and it just makes me so happy, though, at least that North ended up scoring a goal, so that's a good thing, and that's at least they were on the board. No, no shutout. But this is going to do it here for the Hunterdon Central. Hunterdon Central Unified game. And I was your guest host, Big Z, and known as Zach, and this is my partner in crime here, Mariah, and we'll see you around on the Hunterdon Central campus for sure, and there will be more broadcasts sometime soon, but for now, we'll see you next time.